Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, what did you think about Vergil Ortiz this weekend?
Well, it was first of all, I have to say it was a really good fight in that Orosco, right?
Yeah,
That
he
was his name.
he defeated Antonio Orozco by a 6th round knockout on
Yeah.
Saturday in Grand Prairie, Texas, which is where Vergil Ortiz is from. So kind of a homecoming bout for the kid.
Oh, okay. Um, I thought that he fought like actually a really good fight and
Orozco? Yeah.
was impressed with the way that he fought. Um, Kind of like if he hadn't fought this guy, like I don't know, maybe he would be,
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I
he's a
mean?
good
Like,
fighter.
yeah,
Orozco came into the matchup being he used to be in the same position Ortiz. He was undefeated. He made his way up to challenge for a world title that was against Jose Ramirez. He lost that fight. The current unified 140-pound
right,
champion,
yeah,
Jose
yeah.
Ramirez, lost that fight by 12-round decision. So you think going into it that this is a really stern test for Vergil Ortiz.
Yeah, and I
How
would
can
definitely
he
say
do
that it was. Yeah.
against Orozco? And you're right, Orozco fought a really excellent fight. It was a competitive matchup for 5 rounds, and then in the 6th round,
Well, he
Ortiz
just,
stopped him.
yeah, I mean, like and so
Wow.
we talked about Orosco, how, like, first of all, what he did was, so you had the initial knockdown. The second one was him taking a knee, I think more so than, I mean, he took more
Yeah,
punishment,
smart,
but it wasn't,
strategic.
but like, it was taking a knee because I need to get my
He
legs
hadn't. It didn't look
back.
like he had recovered from
Yeah,
that first
and that
knockdown.
is like really smart thing to
Veteran.
do. But then after that, like you said, he needs to learn how to hold. Like there was a
Orozco.
minute and a half left in the round, and that's a long time when you've already been like knocked down, and things are probably a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that third knockdown, the ref wasn't having it, and just stopped the fight. But he did like a really excellent job up to that point. And yeah, and Ortiz, like he had, like it was that power, and like he went in and he finished it, right? Like
But
in
it was
that
more,
round.
to me, like it was more than just power. There's a lot of guys that come around that just have power. The thing I like about Ortiz is, first of all, he's only 21 years old, so
Right.
theoretically he's going to get better. But that he seems to have all the things that a young fighter would need to become a future star. He has an aggressive, fan-friendly style, and that's great. People love that. But he does it with a kind of technical skill that is often overlooked when we look at fighters that like warriors that we want to see fight. Well, this guy, he knows how to jab. He knows how to keep it. His defensive footwork is good. He knows how to fight, kind of in the same way of Sergey Kovalev, right? Sergey Kovalev is a good boxer, but he used that good boxing to get in position, laying power punches, and he knows how to throw punches and run people into him. I get the same kind of sense with Vergil Ortiz, which is interesting to me because when I met Vergil Ortiz, so his last fight was against Antonio Orozco. But before that, he fought Mauricio Herrera, another great stoppage win over a guy that does not get stopped. Before that, he fought a fighter here on a card in Houston, and Ortiz was here, and I met him. And something about his demeanor, the way that he talked, the look in his eyes, somehow reminded me of Sergey Kovalev. I remember thinking at the time. And yeah, he kind of has that same scariness about him that a younger Kovalev had. Kovalev's still pretty scary. But Vergil Ortiz seems like a really awesome, great fighter. He's also seems like so far at least, in the things that he says on camera, and even when I talk to him, he seems like a classy stand-up guy, which is also, I think, great for boxing. I'm excited about Vergil Ortiz Jr.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to see more of him, and I think so. Is Ramirez and him, are they in the same weight class?
Yes. Well, so maybe. So basically, yeah. So Vergil Ortiz Jr. came up as a 140-pound prospect, but this last fight was at 147.
Okay.
So he said that he felt stronger there. He obviously doesn't have to worry about cutting weight. I don't know if the plans are going forward for him to stay at 147 or to go back to 140. Either way, there's lots of good fights for him. But that fight that you've mentioned with Ramirez, that would be a really interesting, great fight. I don't know if you're Ramirez if you take that fight against an undefeated guy as young as Ortiz, when you still have other fights on the table, potentially against Regis Prograis.
But it's always fun when you have more than one fighter in a division or in divisions right next to each other that have a lot of potential, talent, skill, like up and coming. You know,
well,
like this whole
140
kind of thing.
pounds right now is really interesting to me, and I would love to see Ortiz down there first, especially if he can reasonably make the weight, because you always want to go into the lowest weight class that you can reasonably make. Now, you don't want to cut too much. We always go back to Andy Lake cutting down from 160 to 154. How gaunt, and he didn't have his ability. He still had his power to go through that fight, but it just took too much out of him, right? And so you don't want to see that ever with a fighter.
But with Ortiz, I'm excited to just see how his career unfolds, how he looks against more and more and different fighters, how, because sometimes it can be hard to see, for me, how skilled somebody is when they're like a more of a brawler, and that like when he fought Orosco, like that was like a fun, Mexican style like fight that you see there, and so he did get hit, right?
Yeah. Now you're right. It's not. He's not Floyd Mayweather or whatever, right?
So sometimes you might like knock a guy, be like, you can't get hit that much against, but maybe he wouldn't get hit that much against like somebody else. But then you have to like win a fight in a different way. And what we noticed with somebody like Golovkin is like when he got up against like top level opponents, I don't know, we didn't see him adjust anymore, and he was getting hit less, but then he wasn't beating his opponents. So like.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't. Canelo, right? I mean, but even then, like when he fought Danny Jacobs, he couldn't knock Jacobs out. That was a close fight. So I think you're right. But those style of fighters, Golovkin's another good example of a guy who's a really good boxer, but uses that for offense. That's the kind of fighter that Ortiz appears to be. And those fighters, Golovkin's beloved in the boxing community. Ortiz appears to be on his way to being beloved. There is one more set of people that I think are on their way to becoming beloved in the boxing community, and that's us, Rachel. Kelsey and Rachel from Real Talk with Kelsey and Rachel. We've been doing this show since 1904. Okay. That was a long time. We call it '04, actually, back in '04. This was before either of the world wars. We started this, we used to do it on a little xylophone. What is a xylophone? I don't know.
Xylophone?
I don't know old-timey words. Listen, neither do you. You're not from 1904. If you were born after 1904.
We did this on Telegram.
We encourage you.
We used Morse code.
Yeah, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyone born after 1904, I think is actually legally obligated to like, comment, and subscribe. We're just kidding, but we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching our show. Come back tomorrow.